That we are running a little bit late. There are comrades who are still coming down in the lift that we are waiting for. So I'm just begging your indulgence for 2 more minutes and then we should start with our press briefing. David and Paul. How are you? Thank you. Mjansi Sophie? Eh? Senzeni. Why you funa khuluma senze?
Report, and I've called this very special media conference this morning. Now, spokesperson Zizi Kodwa says some journalists have been misled by these reports on social media regarding the appointment. Earlier reports stated that incumbent Mayor Josientso Ramokgopa would be shifted to a deputy ministerial position to clear the way for Didiza's appointment. The live pictures you see coming in now. Of course, there were instances of violence. Looks like instances of violence as thousands of ANC supporters waited for the announcement at the Pretoria showgrounds yesterday. Police are investigating. Let's go to the live conference now.
Delegation of the ANC in Gauteng and in Tshwane, and we are doing this to especially demonstrate the fact that this is a decision of the African National Congress across all structures. I will start on my left and just introduce the people who are sitting in front. Comrade Hope Papo. He is the Provincial Secretary of the ANC in Gauteng. Next to him is Comrade Paul Mashatile, the Chairperson of the province in Gauteng. Seated next to Paul is Comrade Zweli Mkhize, the Treasurer General of the ANC. On my right, seated next to me, is Comrade Jesse Duarte, the Deputy Secretary General of the ANC. Next to her, Comrade Mapiti Maptsena, who is the Regional Deputy Chairperson of the ANC in Tshwane. And on the far right is Comrade Sputla Josientso Ramokgopa, who is the Chairperson of the ANC in Tshwane. Comrades, without wasting any time, I will ask the DSG to come forward and read the statement. May I just also acknowledge that sitting with us is obviously other officials of the ANC in the province, as well as the full complement of the office bearers in the region of Tshwane. Thanks, DSG.
Good morning, and I hope this has been a good morning for you. I'm going to read our statement to you. It will be handed out, and then we'll take some questions. The African National Congress announced mayoral candidates for all metropolitan municipalities except for the city of Tshwane on Saturday, 18 June 2016. Explaining the decision not to announce a candidate for the city of Tshwane, we said that the Tshwane Regional Executive Committee had presented 3 names to the Gauteng Provincial Executive Committee in line with our 52nd National Conference resolution on deployment. The PEC, however, was not convinced of the candidates proposed and made a representation to the NEC for an intervention in Tshwane. May I just remind you that our resolution says that the REC will submit 3 names to the Provincial Executive Committee and that the PEC's decision is final. The ANC prides itself on our very robust system of internal democracy, and thus any intervention that alters the outcome of a democratic process is not taken lightly. It must also be noted that this is not the first time the ANC has taken such a decision. National and provincial leadership agreed on the intervention, and at a meeting held on Sunday, the 19th June 2016, Comrade Togo Didiza was presented to the REC for consideration as ANC mayoral candidate for the city of Tshwane. The intervention was unanimously accepted by the REC, and Comrade Togo Didiza is thus the ANC mayoral candidate for the city. Comrade Didiza is a senior and seasoned leader of our movement with extensive experience in governance. Her nomination for mayoral candidacy demonstrates our commitment to strengthening the capacity of leadership at local government level across the board. We are confident that once elected by the people of Tshwane, she will continue to build on the solid foundation laid by Comrade Gonsienzo Sputla Ramakgopa and his collective over the last 5 years. The ANC expresses its gratitude to Comrade Ramakgopa, who is an extremely capable administrator and has led ably the capital city as its executive mayor. We have no doubt that he will not be lost to the organization. The ANC has noted and is deeply disturbed by the outbreak of violence which took place at the outskirts of the meeting which was held yesterday. A member of the ANC passed away and several others were injured. The ANC condemns this behavior in the strongest terms and will act decisively where it is proven that any of our members were responsible for the shooting. We also call on the law enforcement agencies to act with no fear or favor to bring the perpetrators to this criminal act to book. We also call on our communities to make sure that if they know who the perpetrators are, to name them immediately and bring them out so that we can make sure that they are charged for this heinous act. We send our deepest condolences to the family and friends of our comrade who passed away. His name will not be made public by us until we are sure that his next of kin have been properly notified. May he rest in peace. The ANC calls for calm and discipline amongst our members, and we ask them to rally behind the decision of the organization and the REC, which is represented here very ably by the chair, the deputy chair, and the regional secretary, as well as other members of the REC. The robust nature of our process provides an opportunity for members of our organization to voice their displeasure. Ultimately, it is incumbent on all our members to close ranks, support and rally behind Comrade Togo Didiza and all councillor candidates as they lead us to a decisive and overwhelming victory of the ANC on the 3rd of August 2016. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Comrade DSG. We're going to open up for 2 rounds of questions. We'll take 5 questions per round. If you could please just indicate if you do have a question by lifting up your hand, introduce yourself and pose your question, please. Or there are no questions. Was the decision that we were expecting? I've heard Power FM running that the whole morning this morning. Are there any questions that anybody would like to pose on this matter? Should I nominate? Yes, sir. Okay, number 1, I've noted you. Sophie will number 2. Put you number 3, Clement. Only number 4. Is there a last hand in this round? Okay, number 5. Please, if you would please proceed. Yes, sir.
Hi, once again, we're seeing almost like a celebrity candidate being parachuted in by the ANC into this measure. Are there some real concerns that there'll be some more pushback because of this?
Thank you.
Shows that all structures and members of the ANC accept the decision, and going forward we are able to campaign without any problems.
Thank you. Number 3 was here. Clement.
Thank you. Clement Mangatela from Eyewitness News. Are you at liberty to tell us the reasons why you were not convinced about the 2 names that were submitted
By the REC, you mean the 3 names? Thank you. Number 4 is Oli.
Thank you very much. Odin Gami from ENCA. My question surrounds whether or not there are discussions at all regarding coalitions in Tshwane. Will there be, or is the ANC in talks about coalitions in Tshwane? And my other question, perhaps it could be answered by anyone really, is why was the name of the incumbent mayor not really considered? What's the problem with it?
Thank you. Last one in front here. Are you covered? All right. Did you have a question? Okay, cool. Comrade Tshwane.
Thank you very much. Togo Didiza is not a celebrity of any nature. She is a very hard-working activist of the African National Congress. She served in various different portfolios, including as Minister of Public Works, Minister of Agriculture. So she is a candidate with extremely deep level of experience in governance. And to simply cast her away as a celebrity is suggesting that she's not competent. She's extremely competent, and she will be able to lead the mayoral committee very ably and ensure that the integrated development program for Tshwane is ably implemented, and that is why we thought of her. How will we ensure that all structures accept the decision? The reason we've brought the entire complement of the Regional Executive Committee here with us today is because they have decided amongst themselves, firstly, to unanimously accept the nomination of Togo Didiza, and that they will make sure that they go out to all the structures and talk to this matter and explain as we would in every other circumstance of this nature. Thirdly, why was the PEC not convinced? When we do the selection of mayoral candidates, the reason our resolution is framed in the manner that it is framed, where we ask them to send us 3 names to the PEC and the decision of the PEC is final, is so that evaluations can be made on more than just technical competence, but also the unity of the ANC in a particular region. And one of our difficulties has been that the intensity of the competition in Tshwane had led to a breakdown of the relationships between two key individuals in that region. Now, they will still be the regional leadership. I need to make that very clear to all of us. They will still be leading the region, and we want to give them the opportunity to focus their minds on building the ANC structurally and making sure that they go back to the ground, as they are both activists, both Comrade Ramakgopa and Comrade, they're both activists, competed against each other. Now they have to go back to the ground and work hard to unite the ANC together. Thirdly, no, we have no discussions about coalitions in Tshwane or anywhere else. Normally, that doesn't happen until you really have to discuss it, you know, and we don't believe that we have to. We have been working on the ground in Tshwane. We were there on Friday, the entire day, and from the response of the community, who may have questions, the question that is not being put to us is that they will not support the ANC. And I think there's a vast difference between being cynical and being realistic. And we're being very realistic. We're also not arrogant. We count every vote as being very important. And so we're going back on the ground, and we're going to work hard for the vote of Tshwane. So why was Ramakgopa not considered? I think the decision of the PEC is a final decision, and we are all respecting that decision. And also that in the three names that were presented by the REC to the PEC, he was not amongst the three. So we must just keep that in mind and work backwards if we can, and understand that we are deploying these comrades to work in the ANC and to make sure that the ANC is solid and united.
Final round.
That's the announcement that we just get, of course, from the Thule House this morning. Toko Didiza is the mayoral candidate for the city of Tshwane in the upcoming local government election. That, of course, takes place on August the
Okay, we've got those three hands. Oli, thank you.
All right, thank you. Oli again. Just a question on the candidate for Ekurhuleni. I'd like to put the question to the PEC and perhaps any leader from National. What makes him the suitable candidate to run that particular city? What credentials do you think he possesses that has made him a candidate that has, quote unquote, convinced the PEC on it? Thank you.
I just wanted to know, is there any concern about normalizing violence when it comes to the election of candidates? And is there also any concern that some of what broke out yesterday with the violence and even intimidation might also affect the party at the polls?
Thank you.
Thank you. How I feel. I just want to check if the issue of Marius Fransman has been discussed. Has it been suspended? Will it be taken out of the ANC's
Taylor, we're discussing the mayoral candidate. No, Comrade Marius is not a mayoral candidate anyway. Yeah, yes, there's three questions around Ekurhuleni, normalizing violence. Yes.
On the issue of Ekurhuleni, we believe that the current candidate is young, energetic, is doing quite well where he is in trade and industry, has proved himself to be a very capable leader, and will be able to lead that particular region as well as the mayoral committee very ably. And that is the only criteria that was looked at. He brings to the table a great deal of other experience where he has worked technically in other portfolios, and we think that he's going to do a great job. He will build on what Mondli Gungubele has done. he will build on that very ably. Are we concerned about normalizing the situation? The ANC condemns anybody who thinks that violence is a prospect for either their personal ambitions or for the support or non-support of any individual or groups of individuals. So, firstly, we would condemn any forms of violence. We've also signed the IEC's Code of Ethics, and currently we're making sure that all our candidates in their training understand the Code of Ethics, as well as ANC branches throughout the country understand it. ANC party agents are being trained in understanding the Code of Ethics. However, if people have a mind to create any kind of disturbance, we will not hesitate to deal with them internally in a fairly harsh manner, as well as insist that the police and other authorities also that they are arrested, basically. Violence is not an option for our country. We've been there before, and those who have been through the 70s and early 80s understand only too well that cycles of violence, once they begin, can only be broken when people are committed to peace. And the ANC is committed to a peaceful election, and we will accept nothing less from every single ANC member out there. We are insisting that people understand the values of the ANC and understand that violence is not part of our rubric.
Just before I close, just for purposes of reporting, can we make it clear that Comrade Thoko Didiza is a resident of Tshwane? She has led in that region in the structures of the ANC where she's active. She continues to be there. In fact, she was even leading a branch until her re-election back into the NEC. So she is an activist from the region. Without any further ado, I thank you very much for coming. And once again, I apologize for running a little late. Thank you. Mama?
Why don't you do this?
How are you, my dear?
Yes, it's
Yes,
Funa is celebrity. That's why we celebrity candidate. Celebrity and go at it.
Thank you,